Hi Nomonde, thank you for making time for us today. So let's start off. Can you please tell us one interesting or fun fact about you?
I'm a hip hop head. I love hip hop. I listen to hip hop to start my day if I'm not listening to gospel. I love old school hip hop head.
Oh, great. Do you jive at all or?
Listen, I move my body, like whether or not it moves, with the type of rhythm a black girl should have is a different story. But I do have my moves. I do love like dancing. I do love it. My daughter is a better dancer. That's why she does dancing. But I do dance when I can and when I listen to music. Okay, so I do Pilates. I do reformer Pilates 4 times a week because it's the only exercise that I do, and it's one that I found that I actually really enjoy for whatever reason. But reformer Pilates is difficult. I think the videos that you see on Instagram of men doing Pilates and like shaking and wanting to die is real. So when I started, I was like, oh my god, like I can't breathe. I literally feel like I'm going to vomit. This was in the beginning and I started last year. But the one leadership lesson that I can take, or I have taken from Pilates, is that you might think that something is insurmountable and it can't be done. But once you are done with those 55 minutes, you know that you can conquer anything. So nothing is ever insurmountable. If you have the mental fortitude to be able to see something through, you will see it through.
Nomonde, if you weren't in your current career, what completely different path would you do instead?
I'd be a chef, huh? I know that answer is like very quick, but I love being in the kitchen. And actually, if I'm honest with you, when I did my MBA, it was a toss-up between applying to go to PruLeaf, which is like a culinary school, to do that part-time, and doing my MBA. And of course, like one of my mentors said, of course you must do your MBA. Like this whole cooking thing, I feel like, yes, maybe if you still want to do it after you're done with that, by all means do that. But without a doubt, I would be a chef.
Can you share a moment you felt truly proud of your leadership journey?
You know what? I think last year was a difficult year. It was just so odd because then God was also like, I know it's hard, honey, but here are little glimmers, just to give you a semblance of hope. So, the CIO awards last year were, I don't know, the fact that my team won like the best team award was incredible because they've had to create miracles out of sometimes having absolutely nothing. So the fact that there was an opportunity to recognize them and the incredible work that they actually do on a daily basis is everything to me. So outside of the other awards from that night, that one actually is one of the most special things that has actually happened in my leadership journey, to actually be able to recognize people who play such a pivotal and important part in making our business work was truly special. So that would be one of the highlights for me.
Okay. What's the bravest thing you've done in your career that you're most proud of?
Listen, I don't know if it was brave or stupid, or maybe it's a little bit of both, but I think when I joined Bidvest Bank, I was heavily pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant with my son. I work for Hannah Mamula Sadikin. If anyone has met her, you'll know that once you meet her and you really like the vision that she has, it's difficult to say no, right? And I think when you also work for women, and when you go into the interview and you're like, oh, it sounds like what you guys have going on here is really exciting, but it looks like it needs a lot of work. And my husband and I are having a baby, and I have every intention of taking maternity leave, so I'm not the woman for the job in this season, because that's genuinely what I said. And she looked at me point blank in the eyes and she was like, and I have 4 sons. Pregnancy is not a disability, never has been. It's not a problem for me, it shouldn't be a problem for you. And I think it was in that moment that things switched for me. It made me realize that actually, just because a woman is pregnant, it doesn't take anything away from what she can and can't do. And if anything, if you have a conducive environment to come back to, you work harder. And this is why I say, I don't know if it was stupid or if it was something to be proud of, or, brave of, but the choices that we make for career. Because often we don't talk about these things to actually say, like when you're in these jobs, I think what people see is the outcome. Like, you know, you see the fancy titles, but we don't always talk about the difficulty behind like being in these jobs and the sacrifices that you actually have to make. So people just assume it's just the end result, when there's a lot of sacrifices in between that you've actually made. I'm not always happy with the decisions that I have to make. I do wish that there's instances where I was there more, but in reality, the conversations I now have with my children is that mommy has to work, and me being able to work hard for us is that you and I can go to the bush, just two of us. But if I didn't work hard to actually have money, then there are things that we won't be able to do. I realize that omitting the truth is not helping me. If I don't tell my kids that this is the work that I do and bring her along when I do certain things, like talks, whatever, my daughter comes, so she has a visual representation of what her mother does. So when she gets older, it can't be that she wasn't told the truth, or I didn't communicate the things that I do to actually help us make a living.
Thank you once again for having us today, Nomonde. We really loved having this interview with you, and we can't wait to see you at our Women's Day event.
Listen, I can't wait. You guys have literally just lightened up my Friday today. I must say, obscure. You guys are the most, if there's a word to say, funnest human beings, but also smartest human beings. You are truly part of the A-team. Everything that you guys do has so much heart behind it. So it's always such a privilege to actually be in your aura and in your presence. So thank you so much for the privilege of your time.